Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Role Players Podcast. My name is Mac, and I'm going to be the DM for this new upcoming podcast. Just a little bit about myself. I have been DMing for about 4 years, and I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons as well as other role-playing tabletop games for about 6 years. I really enjoy D&D because as someone who is a film student and looking to join the film industry and also an amateur writer, I love telling stories. I think stories are the central part of what makes us human, and it's the only true way, I think, to experience the world around us without actually having to experience it, which is why role-playing is so cool and so vital for many people, is that you can be someone else. You can experience something that you never would be able to experience, like fighting a dragon, by telling stories, and that's the most important part for me. And the main reason that I stopped mainly just playing Dungeons and Dragons and mainly DMing and dungeon mastering Dungeons and Dragons is because I wanted to tell a story. I wanted to tell stories, and the cool thing about Dungeons and Dragons that's different from any other genre is that it's not a one person or one author or even a group of authors telling a story. Dungeons and Dragons is cooperative storytelling. A group of people get together, and I am merely the guide and the vehicle for them to tell the story that they want. Just to start off, this podcast will be set in a world that I have created specifically for this podcast, and it's the world of Genera. The setting specifically for when this podcast will take place inside of this world is a sort of colonial era Pirates of the Caribbean, Sid Meier's Pirates sort of feel, where it is the new world, and this is the age of colonialism within this fantasy world. So there are empires that are going to be fighting over territory, over wealth, over riches, and I think it's something that I haven't seen in a D&D game, and I think it's something that's really important. It's a really interesting time period that brings up a lot of implications as well as really great combat and storytelling. I am really excited for you guys to explore this world with us. This is not going to be typical D&D. We are going to be running off of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but I have constituted some homebrew rules. I've re-modified the races so that they're, for me, a little bit more even and reflect the difference in my world compared to a typical D&D world. Elves are different. Humans are different, and the one thing I'm going to do is, because this is a colonial, there will be gunpowder weapons, and there will also be a couple other weapons. One of our characters also wanted to use a harpoon gun, which I was too excited about. So we also have the stats for that. If you guys would like to take any of this material, please take it. I made it, and I really like the balance of it, how it adds up. The other thing I added is there will be a different naval combat system, and the reason that I created a homebrew naval combat system is I was unhappy about how naval combat turns out for the typical combat encounter situation. And because basically what happens is that the entire group takes control of one ship, and it takes so long because everyone has to decide exactly what their ship wants to do as a group, right? Or maybe one person is deciding what the ship does, and people aren't happy in the end. So what I created is a system in which each person has their own job aboard the ship. And I kind of took it from the Star Trek D&D systems, from other sci-fi D&D systems that involve this sort of crew position. So in this case, because we have 4 players, and you can definitely break this down even more and make more crew positions, but for the moment, I have 4 crew positions. There is the pilot, the captain, the gunner, and the magician. And each one of these have a very important role at controlling the ship. What we're aiming for is small, digestible, 30-minute episodes uploaded twice a week, Monday and Fridays, at 8 o'clock in the morning sharp, Mountain Central Time.